Hello, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show. This is no ordinary podcast. This production has heart and soul, healing and wisdom, artists and authors. Deidre has spent her entire life promoting people, projects, and products that further hope and healing. She has also been a positive force in the entertainment industry as a vocalist, performer, musician, composer, conductor, author, and healer. You will be in good hands spending this time with her and her guests as they will guide you into another space where you can relax and feel their positive energy. Thank you for joining us. And now, here is the amazing Deidre Reigel with her special guest.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part one of a brand new series called Keeping Our Sanity in Times of Chaos. I am delighted to be presenting this series, and I think it's something we all desperately need in these times that we are living in. Today's guest is a wonderful gal named Baba Sharone, and I want to tell you just a little bit about her before I engage her in conversation. She is the pastor of Cosmic Center of Light in Sarasota, Florida. Now, this woman has successfully balanced life in the corporate business world with her ever-expanding spiritual evolution. This powerful and eloquent woman has pioneered business practices and won awards for doing so. As pastor of Cosmic Center of Light, she is leading the way in opening awareness and opportunity for many to receive and understand their full potential and help all of us create a new earth. Now, if that isn't exciting, I don't know what is. So welcome, Baba Sharone, to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show.
Thank you so much, Deidre. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it's just a delight to have you. Now, before we actually get involved in our discussion today, I want to make note that most everyone knows you as Reverend Sharon Elizabeth, and you are now taking this new nomenclature, Baba Sharone. So I'd like to ask you, how did that come about? Please tell us.
Yes, well, it's always in our ever-expanding consciousness enlightenment. And as we move forward, Deidre, in our spiritual unfoldment, other dynamics, who we truly are as spiritual beings having a physical experience becomes revealed. And that can happen in insights or inspiration that comes suddenly, or in dreams, or in theta, in many different ways. But for me, what happened is I had a significant dream that was not really a dream. You know, it's more real than waking life. And in that experience, Deidre, I was given the name Baba. Now, I've always wanted to know, what is my spiritual name, and quite frankly, if I had to choose my own spiritual name, I think I would have had something more exotic, but the word was Baba, and so I was referred to as Baba. I won't go into the dream, but suffice to know that it was quite significant, and this happened over a year ago, and a lot of times people may think, that I am not shy and I can go out there. Not exactly correct. I've always been shy. I've made myself go out there. And so I was kind of reluctant to kind of say, hey, I'm Baba, everybody. But what happened is I did meet a spiritual teacher who I admire very much, and he spoke that he used his spiritual name in a way that he got it. And I remember saying to myself, you know what, I'm not really using my spiritual name. And in that moment, insight came so directly that said, if you don't use it, you will lose it. Energy, sound is energy. And so at that moment, I decided I must start to use it. And what I did, my first name is Sharon. Dr. J.J. Hurtak calls me Sharone, which is a Hebrew version of Sharon with the E at the end of it. So I just decided to go by Baba Sharone. So that's the story.
What a great story. And as you say, our sound is our what I call energy signature, our vibrational frequency. And I really applaud you for having the courage to show up with your spiritual name, especially since it was one you may not have chosen on your own.
Right.
But I'm sure it has a special frequency to it, a special
it
sound.
It most certainly does. And I will say
yes.
this, too, that since, and a lot of us are asked to step up to the plate, it may be different than what we perceive we should be doing or expressing in a way, but this higher guidance is coming in. It's giving us the guidance that, no, this is how it is. This is the direction you're to go. And when we're brave enough, to do that, the energy changes because you're now in a new frequency of a higher guidance that has come in. And I will tell you that since I've been using the word, since I've been using Baba Sharone, or a lot of people just say Baba, the energetics around me have changed. Oh, things have opened up. People have been attracted to me in marvelous ways that will help as a collective to move things forward, in a positive way for the earth. So it's been quite remarkable.
Very, very exciting. And, of course, the fact that you trust divine guidance is one of the reasons I have been so eager to have you as part of this series. And again, I so appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule to do this with us, to have this discussion. So, wow, my praise and my accolades to you for your courage and your bravery. So I'd like to get right into it. First question, what is sanity? And by that I mean, what is your definition of sanity?
My definition of sanity is where you are in control of your responses, your circumstances, and your experience. There is great chaos out there. There's no question about that. And you may not be able to control those dynamics, but what you can control is your response to those dynamics. And one of the things I talk about, the shalometh shalom, the unshakable peace, the peace that surpasses all human understanding. When you start tapping into the higher aspects of yourself, of your higher self, your higher mind, when you start tapping into that all-encompassing, unconditional love, the compassionate heart, that is a frequency. That begins to, even in the midst of chaos, sort of as a beautiful enclosure of energy within you, that yes, you're in the world, but you are not of it. And you're now bringing in this higher dynamic of yourself, which is love, which is balance, which is peace, which is courage. And you can be the one to change the circumstances in an environment of chaos versus the chaos impinging upon you. Now, I want to repeat that again. You can go into a room where there are people who are arguing, upset. Let's think Thanksgiving and family members getting together, okay? That might be a good model. And
yes.
You walk in and, people are, going into drama and so forth. Now, you could either get sucked into that, okay, which is going to be the regular deal. That's the default. The default is, you're taking sides and all of this is going on. Or as you do your spiritual practice, like a spiritual muscle, okay, you're able to transcend getting into the drama, getting pulled into the chaos, and instead you hold your own energetic frequency of balance and peace and love. And when you walk into the room, you become the calming factor. You become the one that can, through the alchemy, okay, of love, can change the circumstances. Sometimes it's with the correct words to say or simply to be there and hold the space, or a smile. Whatever it is, you're divinely guided. Now, I always tell people, it's easier said than done. We know that. And when something is right there or fear confronts you or there's somebody that's basically in your face or you're just going into a dynamic that's not right or unfair, the first thing I tell people to do and what I do is I breathe. Because right away, when you're in a confrontational, fearful type environment, your breath becomes shallow or you stop breathing. And then what begins to happen is the adrenaline gets triggered in your body. And so just on a very physiological basis, when you stop, breathe, and become centered, you are now more in control. And a lot of times, Deidre, you'll see me breathing a lot, okay?
Oh,
but
yes.
That's the first thing to do. Then after that, you always can remember, you do not have to have a response in that moment. Sometimes it's not the right environment for you to give a response. You can always say, I will visit that later on. You're going to respond when you're in a place of balance, not when you're in a place of unbalance. So the first goal here is to use the breath, then sort of have an impartiality to the situation, almost like being the observer, like being a third party observing the situation. That part of you says, things are very chaotic right now. Okay, why won't you wait before you respond? Which a lot of people don't think of it in the moment. They feel they must go for it right there. So I have learned when I feel that I'm not in a state of balance, okay, that I could say, you know what, I'm going to address that tomorrow, or let me think about it, or I'll get back to you. Now, if you don't have the opportunity to do that, it does require your immediate balance, then whatever your motivation and whatever words come out of your mouth must be that of balance, kindness, and unconditional love. That takes a lot of practice because
yes, it does.
You are not responding to what is going on. You are giving your input from a place that's not triggered and having to respond to that trigger.
Understood.
You are in your mastery. You are in your mastery. You are not being triggered. You are coming from a point of not being triggered and being in your mastery and saying those words that you have to say, always remembering that you are in control, and it's not going to come from the same energy that's confronting you. It's come from the energy that who you are.
Brilliant. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. Before I just kind of get into the next question, which you've basically answered, but let me just review for myself, and I have taken notes, and our listeners. You spoke first about holding the space within, being in that higher dynamic level of selfness, higher self, holding your peace space. When you get into a chaotic situation, you told us the first thing we need to do is breathe, keep ourselves calm, really center. And I'm very aware that when we get into those adrenaline-driven situations, our breath gets shallow. So you said breathe deeply and reinforce our center. And then you spoke about waiting to respond, and that's how I took the note, waiting to respond. And then as an observer, assessing the situation calmly from that place of peace and using language like, I would like to visit that situation or this situation later on, or let me get back to you tomorrow, let me think about that. And then as you have that time to process what has happened, you are able to look at it from a place of balance, a place of peace and grace, and then re-engage with the circumstances and or the people. And, of course, those are luxury circumstances if we are able to step away. And then you spoke about if we don't have a luxury of stepping away, to very quickly in that moment assess, be in touch with ourselves, and trust that what comes out of our mouth will be divinely guided and will be about kindness, unconditional love, and about, and this is my language, creating from a higher perspective, or what I call out-creating, not responding to the current circumstances, but creating a higher energetics. How did I do, Baba Sharone, with taking notes?
You nailed it.
Very good. And I need it as much as anybody else, because this is why I have started this series. There is so much chaos in our world, and I don't think I know of anyone who is not feeling it on some level, whether they are aware spiritually, mentally, emotionally, whatever, you can open any news feed and there will be some article about how stressed we Americans feel, how stressed the Europeans feel, etc. Everybody's feeling what we're calling stress, and it's across the board. So
it is.
You've just given a beautiful answer on how do we cope. And before I start to ask you the things that your church is offering specifically, any other words of wisdom about how we can cope with this, how we can understand what's happening, and how we can cope? Any other wonderful words of advice here?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, and
Good.
I'm so glad you're asking this because this is very, very powerful. We have something called the Anchoring Light meditation, and that is something, again, from divine guidance, had come to me. We started doing this July 16, 2007. Okay, little did I know we would be going into our 13th year of having this meditation every single Monday without fail. Okay, where
Yes.
groups of people come together physically at the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light in Sarasota. I'm bringing this up because as quiet and behind the scenes as it is, there are groups of people who really care and love the world, feel that they're here to assist and help the world in her ascension and in all of her life, in all of her kingdoms. And we come together, and yes, we are aware of what's going on. However, we are holding the higher vision. We are holding a higher vision of love and light and balance and peace, and the understanding that the immense diversity, how can you put any parameters on the diversity of life? In that immense diversity, it's all one. And so we hold this vision, which is an energetic, it's a vibration, it goes out into the cosmos. And so other groups like us that are holding the higher vision for our world, well, we can also do this, individually. Now, on the Internet with our new technology, you'll see thousands of people through the Internet coming together to hold a vision, to hold peace, and that does count. That does impact. And I want you to know, as scary and chaotic as things are, we have still evolved the earth because of those who have always led the light, or we would still be back in the dark ages.
Yes.
So right now, what we can do, so this is what I do. I turn on the TV, and of course we have to be discerning in what we hear. There's a lot of misinformation and manipulation, and we know the corruption. We all know that. But, to get the pieces of information, to be aware of what's going on, you do go to various news agencies and hear what's going on. And 90% of it is not good. It's very sad, and it's very heart-wrenching. So when I see, for example, a war picture, all right, and I see the broken, crumbling buildings, and, I see people suffering, I could either be a sponge and have that come into my energetic field and have me, of course, respond to it with sadness, or fear. Or I can look at it and I do the Ghostbuster sign. It's the little zero with the slash. To me, that means I'm not accepting that. That's my little symbol, my personal
symbol. That's great.
I see it. I'm saying, no. Then I visualize, because we've been given our God-given ability to be able to visualize and create in that way. And I see green grass. I see people being happy. I see them saying, oh, my gosh, I'm so happy the war is over. I see the buildings being rebuilt. Can you imagine if all of us looking at the news and decided to say, I'm going to step into my power and change that scenario and start picturing a different scene Instead of us just absorbing in what's being brought to us, we step into our power and say, no, this is what we want. If every individual that watched the news could do that, it would shift everything.
I just took a deep breath. Oh, my. Thank you for that thought. That is absolutely inspiring, totally refreshing and inspiring. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, absolutely.
That is perfect. Perfect. We do have that choice. We absolutely have that choice. The more of us, the better. I know that we're coming to the end of our time. It flies by when you and I get together. I love to hear everything you say, and I know our listeners will too. The last question I have for you, can you just give us a short list of what's happening at Cosmic Center, specifically what you're offering that can be of service to all of us locally in Sarasota, Florida, and what could we who don't live in Sarasota, Florida benefit from things on the Internet? Just give us a quick rundown of that, if you'd be.
I'm so excited. Quite a number of years ago, the idea of using the tools of Aquarius, which, of course, we know is technology. And so the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light is moving into the technology for a global outreach. So it really doesn't matter if you are local to Sarasota area or you are someplace on the other side of the world. There is the opportunity to engage with us, participate with us, receive the blessings and the grace that is out there. So one of the things that we have done, and I wanted to tell you real quickly, everything is ever evolving, okay? And so as we move forward courageously to follow our soul pulse, which is what I have tried to do as being the spiritual leader of the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light, what has happened is that this new energetic, which I call divine union, there's an energy that wants to anchor on the planet now, that wants to bring more balance. Now, it's been going on for a while, but what it comes down to, just real briefly, is the balancing of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I call it the divine union. Jesus speaks of it as the bride and the bridegroom. The Tao is the yin and the yang. It's bringing that balance. How that balance comes is from a higher energetic that's coming in. So with this energy, things have changed drastically at the Cosmic Center. We now also have the Divine Chapel of Love, where not only weddings are being done there with this overlighting of this divine union, which is very special. People can come from all over the world and have this special blessing on a partnership that they want to have in their life. Or it can be for any ceremony, because ceremony is now back. And one of the things that we are doing at the Cosmic Center, okay, that's very different and unique from other places, is we're bringing back, for example, the Egyptian Coptic Christianity of the Risen Christ. That is an Ascension handbook. The Pistis Sophia and the Book of You is an Ascension handbook. Most people don't even have a clue of what that is. Well, we're bringing that back, where if you could do this in the body, okay, then, you know, when the soul passes, you know, from the death of the physical body, you now have this radiance and knowledge to be able to ascend and get off the wheel of karma. So that's the higher learning now that we're going to be offering, and that is offered both in-house as well as globally, along with many, many, many other teachings that we are going to be offering from a whole range where there's something for somebody. So if you go to our website, it is CosmicCenterOfSpiritualLight.com or CCOSL.com. You'll see everything that's there. Also, our telephone number is 941-371-9333 for further information. You could also get on our newsletter, and that will get you up to date with everything that's going on. But our global outreach is just now beginning, and we also do have a Facebook page, Cosmic Center Spiritual Light Facebook page. You'll get lots of information.
Wow. So many ways to reach you and the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light. Baba Sharone, I so thank you for taking time out of your schedule, giving information that is so vital these days, and making yourself and the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light available to all on a global level. I thank you and I praise you for everything you are doing that is contributing to the new earth and the love and the divine new energies that are flowing into our planet. Thank you so very much.
And thank you, Deidre, and thank you for the great work you're doing and we're all doing to bring this world into a place, back into Shambhala, back into peace, back into balance. God bless you for the work that you're doing also, Deidre.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking with Baba Sharone from the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light in Sarasota, Florida. Wow, what a lovely conversation, and I wish everybody who's listened to this wonderful future spiritual expansion, grace, and peace in your life. Till next time, take care of you. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of this podcast, nor is any content intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any illness of any kind, or substitute for proper professional care in this regard. We sincerely hope you have enjoyed today's show. If you're not already a subscriber, please click on the link and join our ever-growing community of goodwill. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us at drhoperadio@gmail.com. That's drhoperadio@gmail.com. All of us here at the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show wish you a day filled with hope and joy. Till next time, namaste.